Hi guys, my name is Nishil kaushal and I am currently interning with the LEXIS and Company, and today I will talk about Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. So Article 14 basically says equality before law. Basically Article 14 to 18 basically states the right to equality, but I will talk about Article 14. So Article 14 basically states equality before law. It states that the state shall not deny to any person equality before law and equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. So basically Article 14 guarantees to every person, including non-citizens and transgenders, the right to equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws. The first expression, equality before law, which is said to be taken from the English common law, is a declaration of equality of all the persons in the eye of law, implying absence of any special privilege in any individual, as no special privilege is given to any individual, and every person, whatever his rank or position, is subject to the jurisdiction of the ordinary courts. Now the second expression, the equal protection of the laws. It directs that the equal protection shall be secured to all the persons within the territorial jurisdiction of the union in the enjoyment in their rights and privilege without any favor or discrimination. And it has been said that the equal protection of the laws is a pledge of protection or guarantee of equal law. Now the right to equality is also recognized as one of the basic features of the Constitution. The Article 14 applies to all persons, natural or as well as jurisdict. Among the natural persons, they are included as human beings, male or female or transgenders, and discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender equality is also covered in this Article 14. Now, a jurisdiction person such as a corporation is also entitled to the right to this right in this article. Now, equality before law or equal protection of the law. This does not mean the same treatment to anyone or everyone, as no two human beings are equal in all respects. The same treatment to them in every respect would result in unequal treatment. For example, the same treatment in all respects, whether to a child or to an adult or to sick or physically challenged people, or maybe to a healthy people, or same treatment to rich or a poor. This will result in unequal treatment or treatment which nobody will justify and support. Therefore, the underlying principle of equality is that not the uniformity of treatment to all in all respects, but rather to give them the same treatment in those respects which they are similar, and different treatment in those respects in which they are different. Now, basically in a nutshell, we will say that equals must be treated equally while unequals must be treated differently. Now, for the application of the principle of equality in real life, we must therefore differentiate between those who are equal and those who are different. Now, there are varying needs of different classes of people which require different treatments. The person, property, and occupation can be classified and be subjected and can be used for appropriate legislation. Classification is the recognition of these relations, and in making it is a legislature that must have a wide altitude and discretion and judgment. So our statutory law is full of instances of special legislation and which apply only to a particular class or groups. Article 14 does not rule out the classification for purposes of legislation, as in the case of Kedarnath Bajoria versus State of West Bengal. It said that the equal protection of laws guaranteed by Article 14 of the Constitution of India does not mean that the law must be general in character and universal in application, and that the state is no longer to have power in distinguishing and classifying classifying persons or things for the purpose of the proper legislation. Now there are some tests for valid classification, that a legislative classification to be valid must be reasonable. It should be reasonable. It must always rest upon some real and substantial distinction, which like bearing reasonable and just relation to the needs or purpose in respect of which the classification is made. In order to pass the test for permissible classification, two conditions must be fulfilled. First, that the classification must be founded on an intelligible differentia which distinguish persons or things that are grouped together from the others which are left out of the group. And second, that the differentia must have a rational relation to the object sought to be achieved by the statute in question. Now the object of classification cannot be any object. It should be lawful classification made in the utmost good faith, classification that are scientific and rational, that will have direct and reasonable relation with the object sought to be achieved, and can be struck down, and not mere classification, which after all it only means of attaining the desirable end. Now there are some doctrine of reasonable classification. As we all know that the intelligent differentia and rational nexus between the differentia and the object should be achieved by the law. Intelligent differentia basically means that the persons or thing that are grouped together should be intelligibly different from those that are left from the group. And rational nexus means the logical relation between an action and an effect. Now there are some principle of absence of arbitrariness, which states that the equality before law means all like should be treated alike. It ensures that there is absence of any privilege in favor of any individual. The law will see each one of the same class with the same eye and deal with the same hand. There is no scope of application of judgment on which may lead to arbitrariness. Arbitrariness basically is the principle of being determined by chance, whims or impulse as against logic or any necessity or reason or any principle. Arbitrariness originates from discretion. Actions having no regard to the interest of people are at large called arbitrary. Thank you.